Brian, can you ask, can you send it down that we need programs passed across to all the faculty? And the seniors.
Friends, families, parents, students, faculty, members of the Board of Trustees, and most importantly, members of the graduating class of 2014, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the 17th annual commencement of the Vermont Commons School. I would ask you please turn off your cell phones at this time. It is our tradition to start the ceremonies with a moment of silence and then be seated. Thank you. It's I'd like to introduce Peter Gilmore, our head of school.
Good morning. In following our tradition, the first part of our program will be the signing of the school register by the faculty and students. Dean of Faculty Kara Simone will read the names of fellow faculty and graduates. She'll be followed by Chance Carterman-Newstub reading the rolls of the student signers.
Good morning. One more time, number 17, here we go. Christy Beveridge, please come up and sign the register. Linda Bursell. Chance Cardamone-Newstub. Mark Klein-Lucy. Jennifer Cohen. Adriana Comtois. Juan Garcia Urbina. Peter Goff. Mary Hamilton. Mark Keegan. Steve Lazier. Bradley Maderick. Heather Moore. Benjamin Patrick. Jessica Redmond. Ari Shapiro Miller. Sarah Soul. Jill Strawbridge. Jasmine Walker. Benjamin Wong. Jeru Wong. And I'm Kara Simone. And now it's my pleasure to call up the graduating class of 2014, starting with Isabella Carrara. You can clap. Seth Evans Diffenderfer. Ellis Gavoni. Corbin Hill. Maggie Homer. Emil Koenig. Miles Lamberson. Mitchell Leffler. Amber Quinlan. Spencer Reed. And Aiden Villani Holland. Peter Larson. Oh, it's not complete unless we make a mistake. I saved the best for last. Mr. Peter Larson. I was too busy looking at the next thing. Congratulations.
Let's see, where is our list of names? It is my pleasure to read the names of the student body for the 2013-2014 school year, starting with Johannes Hani Bortsfield. Please come up and sign the register. Thank you. Xavier Aurelia Burgett Foster. Please, you may hold your applause to the end. Thank you. That's okay. Sky Khalid Caldwell Roy. Aiden Webster Daniels. Emma Edwards Dixon. Matthew Donald Furch. Jasper Lucas Goldman. Samuel Erasmus Hansen. Zachary Walsh Hines. Caleb Warner Morehouse. Hans Tappan Nettie. Fiona Mary Oldham. Lexi Ann Ratkovitz. Natalie Del Noche Sr. Mika Giayi Schumann. And Liam Eric Strobeck. All right. You can start a new page right here. Thank you. Emma Catherine Bell. Oliver Humes Bijour. Nicholas Robert Bortsfield. Jacob Patrick Decatur. Xavier Burkett Ferris. Jalen Adam Gibbs. Megan Faulkner Hosmer. Eliza Marie Jackson. Anna Grace Cusero-Lair. Nicholas John Montaigne. Kyla Elizabeth Muzzy. There's a couple more pages to sign on, so we can sign any one of those pages. Nadia Rachel Niva. Sasha Rebecca Kirsten Alexandra Pearson. Harrison First Raddick, Maxine Johanna Senf-Miller, Catherine Idaline Darrow, Alexander Simone Betts Dukach, Camly Noel Wafik Faur, Zelda Burkett Ferris, Henry Harder, Samuel Mason Hill. I'm sorry, Mason Samuel Hill. My bad. Anna Hulse, Sean Douglas Kerr, Kaylee Riley Cronick, Jillian Claire Lamberson, Darian Luis Lopez, Jake Robert Mackey, Ryan Cody Sr., William Wortham Shane, Amira Kaylee Silverman, Maximilian Stransky, Daniel Robert Watson, Camille Faye Barch, Jordan Adara Cannon, Elliot Frank Carey, Galen Lloyd Fasty, Elijah Haddon Hines, Lauren Marie Howe, Rainer Fabian Cannonstein, Anna Marie Leffler, Benjamin Wilder Maxim, Nina Francesca Mantegna, Lincoln Pierce, Nick Storm Sears, Auburn Chiara Sendra, Sophia Claire Webb, and Joshua Zachary Wolfstein. I didn't know I was going to have to practice the middle name pronunciation. That is tough. Jamie Sean Benson, Nora Hill, Eli Brooks Hulse, Adrian Hale Kelly, and Mikal Udine. I believe we'll now award the turtles.
It is now time to award our bronze, silver, and gold turtles. The turtle teaches wisdom. It encourages us to walk our path in peace, sticking to it with determination and serenity, slow-moving on earth, yet also incredibly fast and agile in water. Those who have the turtle as a totem or spirit animal may be encouraged to take a break in their busy lives and look around or within themselves for more grounded, long-lasting solutions. Traditionally, the turtle is symbolic of the way of peace, whether it's inviting us to cultivate peace of mind or a peaceful relationship with our environment. To quote our founder, Dr. Robert Skiff, "It's a journey, not a race." Here at Vermont Commons School, we award bronze, silver, and gold turtles at graduation according to years of attendance. For a gold turtle for students who have spent 6 years with us at VCS, a silver turtle for 4 years, and a bronze turtle for 3 or less years. The 7th graders will now present the seniors with their turtles. Please come up when I call your name. Get my list here. Okay. Will Mika please present her bronze turtle to Bella, please? Will Hani present the gold turtle to Seth? Will Raz present a silver turtle to Ellis? Zach and Hans, will you present a bronze turtle to Corbin? Will Natalie and Sky present a silver turtle to Maggie? Will Lexi come up and present a silver turtle to Emil? Caleb, who has a gold turtle rather, for Miles. Jasper and Aiden, will you present your bronze turtle to Peter? Matt, will you present a gold turtle to Mitch? And Xavier, will you present a gold turtle to Amber? Liam, will you present a bronze turtle to Spencer? And Fiona and Emma, will you present a gold turtle to Aiden? Thank you. I'm going to call Mary Hamilton up here to speak on behalf of Peter.
Good morning. I think that I was asked to do this speech because Peter and I have gone through lots of permutations of relationships. I was the chair of the board when we hired him, and now I'm his employee. So when I was thinking about how to talk about and celebrate Peter Gilmore's time at Vermont Commons, I was also putting together a slideshow for his going away party the other night. And in perusing all of the pictures, I was particularly taken by the ones of the raising of the yurt. It was the summer and fall of 2011 and the end of Peter's second year. The class of 2011 had raised the money, most of it, for the yurt, and the base had been built over the summer, and a fall encounter week was designated to build the rest. The weather was beautiful, and the pictures of the yurt raising are filled with some pretty joyful faces. So I'm looking at these pictures, and I'm thinking about yurts, and shazam, it hits me. The yurt as a metaphor for Peter. Okay, so you have to bear with me a little bit because I got to give you some history and around yurts. So some background. The word yurt is derived from the Turkic word, which doesn't actually mean that skin and felt-covered round Mongolian house that we all associate it with. It actually means the imprint left when the house and its inhabitants move on. How cool is that? And it totally works for my metaphor. Because what is it we think about when someone leaves us but the imprint that they left in our lives? I delved further into yurt lore and symbolism and found fittingly that the yurt is an ancient structure first noted by Herodotus, the father of history, who lived in Greece between 484 and 424 BC, which again is somehow fitting for our head of school / history teacher. Historically, yurts have been decorated with symbols representing strength, including the Kas, or the swastika, which had a much more innocent past before the rise of Hitler, its definition being well-being, and 4 powerful beasts, the lion, the tiger, the Garuda, which is basically a phoenix, and a dragon, the dragon. There are often stylized pictures of fire, water, earth, metal, and wood, which the Mongols saw as the 5 unchanging elements in the cosmos. These pictures and patterns are used to surround the family with strength and protection because, as we know, the original yurts and their inhabitants existed in the Mongolian steppes, a harsh, and still do, a harsh place with cruel winds and even crueler temperatures. When a yurt is passed down to the next generation in a family, the most important piece is the shanarak, or the circle of wood that creates the hole at the top of the yurt, providing ventilation and light. The shanarak also plays an important symbolic role associated with the fact that it's one of the most enduring parts of the yurt, not needing to be replaced as often as the other parts of the structure. And because of that longevity and being handed down from generation to generation, it has deep meaning for the household to which it belongs, representing as it does the family's past, their strength, and their survival. The darker and more stained by smoke the circle is, the more cherished. The shanarak is also the circle from which all of the spokes of the yurt radiate out. Together, they create the strength and balance needed to hold up the home. Lachelle Lowe-Chardet, a psychologist, writes, "In a yurt, wooden beams revolve around a center ring, holding the structure up with opposing pressure. The structure is balanced, integrated, and strong. The center ring is that from which every other part flows. This is a good metaphor for organizing our lives and understanding how to fit each dimension of our life together in a way that creates balance, integrity, and strength." So, the role of the headmaster at a school, particularly at Vermont Commons, where I believe we do encourage our students to fit each dimension of their life together in a way that creates balance, integrity, and strength, is actually not to be the circle. And sadly, I realize this is where my metaphor breaks down. The circle itself is VCS. The yurt is VCS. The head of the school's role, then, is to strengthen, protect, and preserve the circle so that it may be secure for the students here now and able to be passed on to the students who do not yet know us. And that's what Peter has spent his time and his passion doing at VCS these past 5 years. So if the metaphor is not yurt as Peter Homer, sorry, that was my brother-in-law. It's as Peter Gilmore. It occurred to me that perhaps it is Peter Gilmore as keeper of the yurt. Peter as those symbols of protection, the lion, the tiger, the phoenix, the dragon. We are better than we were before Peter Gilmore came to town because Peter believes in Vermont Commons School. He believes in independent schools and school choice for students and families, and he believes in excellent education as a means toward a fuller and more reflective life. And with the faculty and the administration at VCS, he has taken these beliefs out of the school and into the world, to the islands where we have more students than ever before, to the Mad River Valley, to Middlebury and Lincoln and Essex, New York, and to Montpelier and the State House, to ISANI, the Independent School Association of Northern New England, to NEASC, the Northern Association for Schools and Colleges, and finally to the national level at NAIS, the National Association for Independent Schools. We are a better school these 5 years later. We're stronger, we're more stable. We are less known as that quirky hippie school on Green Mountain Drive and more as that rigorous college preparatory school, albeit still a bit quirky, and may we always be, on Green Mountain Drive. That is the imprint of the yurt that Peter has left us. The other continues to make its imprint in the woods in Huntington, a shelter, a VCS home away from home, a round room with a grand view. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mary. And, you know, at the gathering we had the other night, I was very, very appreciative of everything that people had done for me, and especially Mary, who has, she's really been my bellwether and my firm foundation for everything that I did here at the school. She not only was the board chair, she was also a volunteer who helped the annual fund come in. She was also a parent who participated in all the aspects of what it takes to support our school by being a parent volunteer. And then she became a part-time employee and brought our annual fund in for the last 2 years. So she has done an amazing, amazing job. So she certainly deserves a round of applause as well. Okay, so usually at this part of the ceremony, I try and loosen things up a little bit because we've been through this formal signing ceremony. So can people take a moment just to welcome each other and just turn to the person to the side of you and say good morning and welcome? Okay. And thank you. Okay, also, Jill, can I get you to turn those overhead fans on right there, right on the other side of that doorway? The other side of that doorway are the fan, yes, those two switches, great. Now, do people have enough programs? Do people have enough programs?
Are there
Okay, are there more programs to be handed out, or? No, we handed them all out. Okay. Somebody has 3 back there? All right. Hand them around. Okay. It's our pleasure to now confer the department awards. One note before we start. This ceremony, by tradition, has always included the entire student body in attendance. And therefore, unlike at other graduations where only seniors can receive awards, any student in the student body in any grade may receive one of these honors. And many of our seniors who sit in front of you today have received those honors as underclassmen. Language Arts will be given by Jen Cohen, the Mathematics Award by Jasmine Walker, the Science Awards by Peter Goff, the Social Studies Award by Mark Klein-Lucy, the World Languages Award by Jeru Wang, and the Visual Arts Award by Ben Patrick, the Encounter Week Award by Chance Carterman-Newstub, the Research and Service Award by Mark Klein-Lucy. So first we'll have Jen Cohen.
The faculty presents the award for Distinguished Achievement in Language Arts to a Vermont Commons School student who has demonstrated a passion for and dedication to reading and writing. This passion manifests itself through responses to literature, observations and feedback to peers, class discussions, and a high quality of analytical and creative writing. The Language Arts faculty would like to recognize a student who shows an exceptional breadth of talent in language arts. While reviewing our recipients' writing folder from this year's 19th century British and American literature class, I came across an incredible number of notable analytical pieces. Coincidentally, many of the writers that this young woman studied were continually searching for freedom and happiness. This student compared their journeys in a highly sophisticated manner. She found that Keats looked to the past for satisfaction, Longfellow to his youth, Jewett to nature, and it is clear to me that our recipient looks, at least in part, to reading and writing to find her own freedom and happiness. Also in the folder were memorable creative pieces, reflections on thrifting, on skiing, a story about an emerald bracelet, a clever perspective from Bronte's Bertha, another from Dickens' Mrs. Gradgrind, and my favorite, a poem about summer that ends, "We laughed together and jumped into the deep, cool water, pulling ourselves back up again and again, lingering only for a moment between splashes, then back to shore and into the car, rolling down the windows all the way, our hair whipped wildly in the warm breeze and dried in wavy knots." This student's ability to understand literature, to make connections, and to write her own analytical and creative pieces is remarkable. Her excellence was recognized by Middlebury College as she was admitted to and participated in the Breadloaf Writers Conference this spring. With her spare time, our award winner made significant contributions to our community as a literary editor. She and her crew organized and executed all the details of both our school-wide story contest and our Vermont Writes Day. She helped select all the works for the literary magazine and taught herself how to use the program InDesign so that she could create a more beautiful edition of our magazine this year. She has been a reliable, dedicated, and hardworking editor. As a result of her enthusiastic and intelligent approach to literature, her powerful writing, and her contributions to our community, the faculty is proud to present Jordan Cannon with the 2014 Award for Distinguished Achievement in Language Arts. Thank you, Jordan. It has been an honor to be your teacher. I hand you off to Language Arts 11, Critical Theory, and then to Single Author Study to continue your search for freedom and happiness. After all your hard work this year, may your summer be filled with excellent books, but also with wavy knots in your hair.
Mathematics at the Vermont Commons School is built on the foundations of arithmetic, geometry, number theory, data analysis, and problem solving. The emphasis is not simply on conquering ever more difficult arithmetic computations, but on discovering recurring patterns in our environment and describing them in a new language. Not on merely memorizing and using formulas, but on constructing and applying general principles through observation and experimentation. To truly achieve mathematical fluency, we must be willing to struggle with a problem, use our intuition, persevere through our first attempts at a model, apply our new discoveries, and then effectively communicate our ideas so that others can follow. The Distinguished Achievement Award in Mathematics is given to the student who most consistently exemplifies these principles. This year's Math Award recipient has not always thought himself a mathematician. At the end of last school year, when it was suggested that he could complete pre-calculus over the summer to join the University of Vermont dual credit course at Vermont Commons, he replied, I'm not a math person. I do humanities. I like to write and study history. He's certainly a strong writer and a budding historian, no doubt. But it is lovely to witness this student experience the intellectual rigor, curiosity, and joy of pattern finding that are possible in the world of mathematics as well. His curiosity and engagement are contagious. Many times this year, we found him at the board in the lunchroom pondering a new theorem or arguing about the merits of proof with his classmates. In addition to fully embracing mathematical debate, this student brings a coolness to mathematical investigation. He would walk around school announcing how fun it is to take standardized tests, and once said to a prospective parent, "Math is just a puzzle we get to solve." This year, the calculus class was taught in the most investigative way yet, with students deriving and discovering almost every new theorem and concept completely on their own. This student absolutely loved this method. His desire to put the pieces together himself and to persevere when the first 16 ideas failed is the mark of a true mathematician. Although he revels in sharing ideas with his peers and debating the merits of each perspective, he always wanted to find the punchline to each idea with his own intellect. It is with great joy that the math department presents this year's award for distinctive achievement in mathematics to Spencer Reed. As you explore literature, history, philosophy, and politics, please remember you're also a math person. Continue to search for patterns and find order out of what seems like chaos. You have an incredible diligence and insatiable curiosity that will serve you well in all disciplines. Congratulations, Spencer.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
The Science Award. The goal of the Vermont Commons School Science Program is to produce naturalists. A naturalist is a scientist who understands the environment and one's place within that system. A naturalist well-trained in the scientific method will be able to identify the truly important keystone questions within a particular system and answer them thoughtfully, then act upon the new knowledge. Each year, the Science Department recognizes one student who has consistently excelled academically and who embodies the naturalist tradition. In the winter of 1675, Isaac Newton wrote to a fellow scientist, "If I have seen farther, it is by standing upon the shoulders of giants." I would add to that, upon the shoulders of giants, working with fellow explorers. At VCS, we recognizing the expanding digital world means that content will become increasingly available. The true mark of a 21st century scientist will be a researcher with the skills to use that content in a collaborative setting. One of the pillars of learning is the ability to receive and act upon criticism. I had a conversation with this student exactly 1 year ago today, centered upon academic leadership. The student had a demonstrated track record of mastery within the sciences, but had not shown the leadership we look for. We discussed the importance of these collaborative skills, and we were able to find an opportunity for him to see their importance in person. Last summer, Eli took part in the research at the UVM engineering department. Working with Dr. Rizzo's team, Eli learned how to create artificial neural networks. The undergraduates and graduate students on his team spoke very highly of both his individual work and his willingness to be part of that team. A mark of their respect is that Eli was listed as the second author on their research, ahead of graduate students and the professor. He has brought that spirit of leadership and collaboration home to the VCS community as the leader of the Math Engineering Club. In the classroom, Eli has demonstrated a high level of proficiency across the different science disciplines, but rather than rest on his current knowledge base, he has used it this year as a springboard, jumping into independent study of advanced science subject matter. Just a few weeks ago, he sat for multiple science AP tests. Relentlessly seeking to expand upon one's current knowledge is exactly the behavior we expect of a scientist. But Eli Mark wants his organic chemistry textbook back. It is the philosophy of the science department that scientific knowledge does not belong to those who consider themselves scientists. It belongs to all of us. This obligates the scientist to find ways to share his or her knowledge. This year, Eli made time in a demanding calendar to join 10th grade physics classes on multiple occasions to share his expertise with groups, planning experiments and working through problem sets. In the spring, he developed and demonstrated a hands-on lab activity illustrating the concepts of rotational motion and moments of inertia, which will be incorporated into the VCS science curriculum in the coming years. While we appreciate the science legacy Eli will leave behind when he graduates, we're more appreciative of the fact that he'll be with us for an additional year. But for today, it is my pleasure to announce that this year's Science Award winner for Distinguished Achievement in Science is Eli Hulse.
Giving the Distinguished Achievement Award in Social Studies for 2014. Each year, as the Social Studies Department gathers to select the recipient of our Distinguished Achievement Award, the question we ask ourselves is, who amongst the students has most embodied and exemplified a true love of the social studies? This does not necessarily mean who has the highest grade, but rather who has a genuine and irrepressible intellectual curiosity about history, current events, politics, economics, ethics, and philosophy. Who loves to question, think, and learn? This year, the award for Distinguished Achievement goes to a student who demonstrates an open, questioning habit of mind and a passion for the good of humanity more than almost any student to have passed through the Vermont Commons School Social Studies program. What does this look like? It looks like the decision in one senior spring semester to co-organize and host Vermont Commons' first Model United Nations Conference. This gargantuan initiative was undertaken not for credit or college resume padding, but for the pure joy and challenge of it. An award recipient should also inspire others with their enthusiasm and commitment. And a group of sophomores has already been excitedly planning our second annual VCS MUN. Following on his participation in the Governor's Institute of Vermont on current issues and youth activism, he was accepted as one of only a small handful of high school students into the Iraqi Youth Leadership Exchange Program, an experience that opened his eyes still wider to the beautiful plurality of cultural perspectives in the world. Wanting to expand his understanding as a global citizen still further, during his senior project, he flew to Liberia to explore firsthand the world of international aid. Throughout his years at VCS, he has been a driving force behind the Socratic Tea Party, the school's philosophy club. And as a founding member of this year's debate club, he competed against and defeated highly practiced debate teams from around Vermont. What I have always appreciated most about this student, however, is his rejection of the simple, easy answers and his desire to seek out the nuance and complexity in any issue. He is truly a systems thinker, wanting to see how all perspectives and factors influence a situation. I hope when he is in college and beyond that he continues to email me links to articles that intrigue him, and that we can continue our email threads just dissecting the questions raised by the articles. The world desperately needs more young people like this, who who so deeply exemplify the mission of the Social Studies Department. It is my deep honor and pleasure to give the 2014 Award for Distinguished Achievement in Social Studies to Miles Lamberson.
I would like to clarify on the World Languages Awards. We give 2 awards, one in Chinese and one in Spanish. And Jeru Wang will be giving the Chinese, and Adriana Comtois will be giving the Spanish award.
I'm going to, on behalf of the faculty, to announce the Chinese award to the award in World Languages Chinese 2014. The award for the distinguished achievement in world languages, Chinese recognized the student who has demonstrated a passion for the language over the years by constantly striving for the expanded flourishing and comprehension while taking advantage of all opportunities to apply new skills and vocabulary. The recipient of this award is someone who showed her stronger enthusiasm for the Chinese language constantly and have made giant strides in her 3 years of study. This student's academic performance was habitually outstanding. Of course, also horribly outstanding. Moreover, she took on the challenge of the contract honors in Chinese, in addition to contract honors in 2 other subjects. Aside from accomplishing work with great quality, she also finished reading 2 Chinese fiction books in order to learn actual characters. Her high proficiency in character reading often amazed her peers. She could be heard speaking Mandarin perfectly in and out of the classroom, motivating her peers to improve oral proficiency in all corners of the school. When Chinese students went to watch her acrobats from China perform at the Flynn Theater, she spontaneously reacted to a difficult stunt with the words, 天哪. That means, oh my God. It was very rewarding to her Chinese teacher to see how her have to so much freedom in speaking a second language. In addition, her passion for the mission of the World Language Department was demonstrated by her interest in both of the linguistic and cultural aspects of the Chinese-speaking world. She often enriched our class by sharing her fascinating online findings with us. The faculty is proud to present the 2014 Distinguished Achievement Award to World Languages Chinese to Sophia Webb.
Distinguished Achievement in World Languages Spanish 2014. The Award for Distinguished Achievement in World Languages in Spanish recognizes the student who has demonstrated a passion for the language over the year by consistently striving for expanded fluency and comprehension while taking advantage of all opportunities to apply new skills and vocabulary. When the time to propose a candidate for this award came, there was no doubt in my mind that this person was going to be my choice. The recipient of this award has a palpable enthusiasm for the Spanish language that I have not seen recently. We can hear him singing 80s Spanish songs in the halls and giving instructions in Spanish during CCC. And who can forget the great performance that he and his partner gave during the World Language Celebration? He was the force behind the final number, making sure every detail was carefully rehearsed. This whimsical side of him is accompanied by a true love for learning and the utmost seriousness for each project presented in class. When exploring the independence war in Chile earlier this year, he went above and beyond researching particular details of the events, sharing uncommon and interesting details about the historical characters of the time. In the same fashion, when studying Neruda and his work, he shared with his peers his personal investigation, sparked by a poem introduced in a lesson. This student's oral command of Spanish is skillful. In class, he will engage with equal delight on a debate about the pros and cons of Pinochet's dictatorship in Chile, the particular characteristics of Peruvian dishes, or what will happen if aliens will roam around in Spain. He did this with passion and excitement, experimented with new words learned, and undaunted by grammar rules. In the same way, at his young age, his understanding of the subtleties of Spanish literature is impressive, and it was demonstrated when he deciphered the understated social commentary to middle-class society in Spain during the 90s in the unabridged book Sin Noticias de GURB, which he read for his class project. This student has absorbed every drop that the Spanish had offered to him, using the language with gusto and purpose. It is truly my pleasure to present this year's award to our one and only Galen Fasti.
Distinguished Achievement in Visual Arts 2014. We work with portraits every day. Some are intimate, others are emotional, and there are others that ask simply the impossible question of what it means to exist here. We work like this because we do not really know each other. It is difficult enough to know thyself. We are constantly searching our existence, somersaulting in our duplicity and our interpretations of what it means to be in relation to one another. A good portrait is difficult. It is vulnerable, active, always moving, and gives recognition to what it means to exist. It is not that Kodak moment or the new posting on Facebook. It is the Alice Neal portrait of a pregnant woman in Spanish Harlem, the stare of a set of twins from a photograph of Diane Arbus, or the unibrow of Frida Kahlo staring at you proudly behind a surrealist landscape. Examples of the good portrait are also reflected in the work that I have seen of Amira Silverman. In her photography and drawings of people, Amira captures our true existence that is underneath and how we are a likeness to others amongst ourselves. It is important work, as we all know, for we work with our own intimate portraits, trying to illuminate what is real. As such, Amira illuminates our human condition with every physical, intellectual, and psychological lens possible. Of specific note, Amira captured almost every member of our community in a series of video portraits. The portraits play along each other in a traditional triptych. The portraits hauntingly juxtapose each other at irregular intervals. They move, sometimes abrasive next to one another, at other times comfortable and fluid. They take their turn in each moving triangulation. The art piece, like our community, is screaming with laughter, rushing with melancholia, dancing with vulnerability, always asking questions, and all the while trying to realize separately and together what the right answer is. They are real, and they are who we are, and I am happy that these limitless exposures of our condition are here. Amira's portraits and visual processes are what embrace the studio arts program at our school, and it is with pleasure that the Artist in Residence at Vermont Commons School now bestows this year's Visual Arts Achievement Award to Amira Silverman. And now for the Encounter Week Award.
I wanted to thank Heather Moore, the director of the Encounter Week program, for allowing me this honor. It means a lot to me to be able to present this award to the student. The Encounter Week program at Vermont Commons School seeks to push students out of their comfort zones. In addition to making students physically uncomfortable due to rain, snow, sleet, or freezing temperatures, we also hope to cerebrally challenge them to expand their horizons, to find strength past their last handful of gorp, or to hike a mile past what they consider extreme exhaustion. On Encounter Week, we ask students to put the group ahead of their own needs, to ask how they might be able to help their faculty leaders. We encourage students who are uncomfortable to become self-sufficient, and those that are already comfortable to take a younger or less experienced student under their wing. From cycling around the lake to yurting at 25 below, to the epic ascent of Burt White Road, one student has proven herself time and time again as an admirable Encounter Week participant this year. This student has far exceeded the expectations of the Encounter Week program. With a steady and kind attitude, she pushes herself and gently encourages others to find inner strength. On the 9th grade biking trip around the lake, she quickly developed into our go-to girl for getting things done, and she could frequently be seen whipping folks into shape when it was time to cook, clean, or get moving. In January, she braved a week in the yurt when the temperature never rose above 5 degrees and was frequently well below 0. On this trip, she became even more proactive in seeing and doing whatever the group needed. She also took it upon herself to mentor and support the younger students of the group when they were struggling. Her skills all came together on the spring biking Encounter Week. On this trip, she shared responsibility for a different group of 7th and 8th graders for each day's ride. She kept each of her groups safe and en route and did an excellent job of motivating them when they were lagging. This student simply lights up when she's on a challenging Encounter Week. She is who you want to comfort a homesick 7th grader, but she's also the one always asking for more physical challenges. She is constantly willing to literally go the extra mile with just the right mix of hard and soft skills, compassion, and iron will. Anna Hulse, thank you for your dedication to Encounter Weeks. Your participation this year has made this program stronger, and we can't wait to see what you do with the next 3 years.
I'll be awarding the Distinguished Achievement for Research and Service, 2014. The Research and Service program teaches students that with knowledge comes responsibility, and that students can and should have an active role in improving their communities. The Vermont Commons School mission statement is very clear about our need to contribute positively to our community and our environment as we foster our sense of citizenship, both locally and globally. The recipient of this award is a self-driven young woman who jumped at the opportunity to help organize and run a research and service class. Early last summer, she started working diligently to design a class that partnered with the 52 Kids organization in Uganda. We were amazed by the amount of energy she put into designing the class, connecting people here and abroad, and making sure it was a positive experience for everyone. She is a student who understood the role of a true leader, to listen to others and to know how to adjust to the needs of the class as well as to the needs of our Ugandan partners. Throughout the semester, she was full of enthusiasm and possibility, throwing ideas on the table all the time, even when there were some rocks along the road, such as when our Skype connections would not work or when we were missing people for our presentations at Shelburne Community School. Many times she was 2 or 3 steps ahead in terms of organizing, and she would have a plan B and a plan C ready. Finally, she brought the concept of community to a much broader sense, linking Vermont Commons to a local elementary school and to a boarding school in Uganda, embodying the school's mission of global citizenship. It is with great pride that we, the faculty of the Research and Service Department, present this year's Distinguished Award in Research and Service to Camille Barch.
The next 2 awards are awards that are voted on by large groups of people. So the George and Pamela Starbuck Award is voted on by the faculty each year, and the Founders Alumni Award is voted on by the alumni and faculty. To give the Starbuck Award will be Chance Carterman Newstub. To give the Founders Alumni Award will be Trustee Craig Heindel.
Since the Vermont Commons School opened in 1997, we have seen students whose energy, leadership, and kindness set them apart. Each year, we recognize one of them with the George and Pamela Starbuck Award for Outstanding Contribution to the Community. George and Pamela Starbuck are the previous owners of the building that houses our community, and they continue to actively support the development of the school. It is their ongoing commitment, enthusiasm, and spirit of generosity for Vermont Commons School that have provided the model for this award. This year, we would like to recognize a student who has shown the same commitment, enthusiasm, and spirit of generosity. This student has exemplified the very essence of Vermont Commons School since he first entered our doors as a 7th grade student. Those of us who have known him for these past 6 years would be hard-pressed to recall an instance when he was not putting the good of the community first, no matter what the circumstance. Whether he was shivering with his classmates on a sub-zero encounter week or suffering with them during stressful end-of-quarter tests and projects, Miles Lamberson has always sought to put the needs of others ahead of his own. Although no one would ever mistake math for Miles' favorite subject, Miles has frequently made a point of helping students in lower grades with their math work. Miles has organized math study groups among his peers, and he ran the National Honor Society study sessions for younger students prior to the midterm exams. Indeed, Miles's math teacher credits him with helping to foment the radical notion that math can be cool. An area where Miles has always shown is on encounter weeks, where for several years he has been setting the bar high for strong, compassionate student leadership. If you're on an encounter week with Miles, whether you're a student or an adult, you know that it's going to be fun. He's going to have everything organized, and he'll take care of you whether you've lost your mitten or broken a bone. On last fall's Adirondack backpacking trip, his skill and dedication as a leader freed the adults of virtually all logistical concerns, taking a big load off of their shoulders and enabling them to focus on enriching the overall experience. Another notable accomplishment for Miles this year was co-organizing Vermont Commons' first ever hosting of a Model UN event. This was a major undertaking. Miles and his collaborators worked feverishly to coordinate with attendees, set up committees, and provide the contextual information to make it a success. Their work laid the foundation for many more such events in the future, helping to build recognition and reputation for our school in the process. Miles' service to the community was recognized by the rest of the students when they elected him as the school's 3rd student body president. In true form, Miles did everything he promised in his campaign platform and more. Building on the momentum of the previous presidents, Miles worked to make the Student Senate an active and authentically engaged group, thus increasing the level of student voice and choice at Vermont Commons School. As the president, Miles advocated for the students at board meetings, where he was instrumental in making the case for funding a counselor position here at school. If a hand was ever needed, Miles was there to lend two, plus a smile, arriving early to help set up, staying late to help break down, pausing his own schoolwork to help a classmate with theirs, and habitually employing those four iconic words, "How can I help?" Miles embodies the deepest spirit of the Starbuck Award and the values the Vermont Commons School holds highest. Miles has been a critically important part of the Vermont Commons school community over the years. We thank him wholeheartedly for his outstanding contributions.
Hi, I'm Craig Heindel, a trustee at VCS. I'm also a parent of two Vermont Commons graduates. My daughter Naomi graduated in '03 and Ruth in '06. I'm honored to be asked to present the Founders Alumni Award in the place of the Skiff family. I delivered their regrets for not being able to be here today. They wanted to wish the 2014 graduates well and to present this award. The Founders Alumni Award is given to an alum who is selected by both fellow alums and the faculty as most fully living the VCS mission in their post-VCS lives. The Founders Alumni Award in 2014 goes to Nissa Coppola. Unfortunately, Nissa's grandmother passed away last week, so she is in Florida to be with her family and to attend the funeral. She sends her best to everyone here and also wants you to know how proud she is to be honored by this award. I'm also particularly happy to be the person presenting this award because of the role Nissa played in the lives of our daughters. When Nissa was in junior high school and Naomi and Ruth were small, she was their favorite babysitter. She would often come to our house with armloads of art supplies. Sometimes when Judy and I came home after our evening out, the girls would have gone to bed, and there on the kitchen table would be their art projects left for us to see. Sketches or drawings, paintings, little clay figures, or wild collages. Other times, Naomi and Ruth would still be up when we came home, and they would yowl as we came in the door, "No, wait in the car. We haven't finished our projects yet." Here's a little bit about Nissa's time at VCS and about this award. Part of our mission statement at VCS includes this phrase: VCS students grasp the profound interdependence of the natural and the human systems they inhabit. Without question, Nissa is an accomplished and award-winning artist. What makes her so unusual is the way she addresses this interdependence of natural and human systems in her artwork. Nissa began her time at VCS in 1998 as a junior. At VCS, academics did not necessarily come easily to Nissa. She had to work hard for her grades, and work hard she did. She was a determined and enthusiastic student, particularly in artwork and in the sciences. She was a naturalist, and she's the reason that VCS started the Naturalist Award, although unfortunately not in time for her to receive it. She combined her considerable artistic talent with her work in Peter Goff's class to create a masterpiece of a journal. She embraced the natural world with wonder and a sense of adventure. For example, one night on the Acadia trip when a raccoon was sneaking into her tent, she exhibited the naturalist's patience and dedication, and also the artist's eye for composition and presentation by taking a video of the raccoon rather than freaking out or shooing it out of the tent. She was also an accomplished writer of prose. Her memoirs continue to live in the memories of her classmates and her teachers. After Nissa graduated from VCS in 2000, she received a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree from the Rhode Island School of Design. She then went on to receive her master's degree in education from UVM. Nissa is well known in the Burlington art world and beyond. She won the 2013 People's Choice Award at the South End Art Hop. She's currently teaching in both the Design Technology Department and the Social Studies Department at South Burlington High School. It was one of our daughter Naomi's effort, who nominated Nissa for this award with her sister Ruth's enthusiastic support. In her nomination letter, Naomi wrote, "I'm impressed by Nissa's commitment to the art scene in the Burlington area, to art education, and to using art to communicate the beauty and the fragility of the natural world. We learned that communication was the last step of the scientific method from Pete Goff at VCS. And I still remember him awarding her the Science Award at the end of the year for her scientific artwork. I think she should be recognized for continuing that tradition and passing it on to students at the South Burlington High School. The rest of the alumni and the faculty thought so too. So please join me in congratulating Nissa Coppola for receiving the 2014 Founders Alumni Award."
Okay, the moment we've all been waiting for. The student performance now with Seth Evans Diffenderfer, Ella Scavone, and Aidan Villani Holland performing "I'm Not Crying" by Flight of the Conchords.
So it's going to be amazing. We just want you all to know, anyone who's performed at past graduations, this is just going to be...
We were handpicked by our class out of 1,000 applicants.
Yeah. We've been told we're the songbirds of our generation.
And we'd like to shout out to all the ladies and Miles Lamberson.
All over to my lady T. Swift.
And T. Swift.
T. Swift, that's right, yeah. We just want you guys to know that we're okay and we're not crying. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4.
My baby don't mess around because she loves me so, and there's a no for show.
Okay. Yeah, we're not playing that. Never mind.
All right.
All right. Here's the song we're actually playing.
I'm not crying, it's just been raining on my face. And if you think you see some tear tracks down my cheeks, please, please, don't tell my mates. I'm not crying, no, I'm not crying. And if I am crying, it's not because of you, it's because I'm thinking about a friend of mine who you don't know who is dying, that's right, dying. These aren't tears of sadness because you're leaving me. I've just been cutting onions. I'm making a lasagna.
For one.
Oh, I'm not crying. I'm just laughing. Ha, 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 ha. Sitting at this table called love, staring down at the irony of life. How come we've reached this fork in the road, and yet it cuts like a knife? I'm not crying. I'm not crying. I'm not
Yeah. Thank you for that inspiring performance. More can be said. Each year, the graduating class chooses one of its own to speak at this point in the ceremony. It's my pleasure to introduce Miles Lamberson to speak to the class.
Well, I'm not sure how I can follow that. Wow, this is pretty surreal. When I was in 8th grade, my dad and I were in Lowe's on Shelburne Road, an all too common situation for the two of us. It must have been a half day, as the cashier was clearly curious about my schooling situation. As our goods were rung up, the cashier sweetly asked, "Where is your school?" I cringed. My dad, on the other hand, proudly offered an answer: Vermont Commons School, behind Heritage Ford, knowing all too well that few people knew VCS's location. I, on the other hand, was afraid of the response. Her face grew confused, and she said in a hushed voice, "Oh, is that the special school?" She took extra care to hush out the special, too. This happened lots. Every time someone found out where I went to school, they were bound to begin speaking of VCS as the special school that catered to the nondescript group of special kids. As I grew older, these interactions became slightly less onerous and even a bit more fun. Honestly, I wish I had said, "Darn right we're special," more often. The crux of the matter is this, though. This class is no homogeneous group of special, however that be defined. We may cuddle, vertical spoon, and lie upon one another plenty. We may even know each other like siblings, but I insist, we are eclectic to the bone. We have Aiden with his humor and scientific expertise, Ellis, also known as Stinky Ellis, with his interest in art and design, Bella with her equestrian interests, Spencer with his love of all things rap, Emil, also known as Communist Emil, with his multilingualism, Maggie with her love of acting, Amber with her interest in psychology, Corbin with his love of aviation and a rebellious streak at that, Mitch, also known as Leaky Leffler, with his love of all things German, Peter, also known as Baby Rhino, with his music that blares 24/7, Seth and his punk rock, accompanied by his love of Keynesian economics, and myself, also known as Inferior Miles, with an interest in the outdoors. Were the 12 of us in a larger academic setting, there is no way we'd spend this much time together. We come from all around the social globe, complementing each other's styles and miraculously, rarely clashing. There is no denying that VCS is a bit different, a bit off, maybe even a bit small. We are special, though, just not in the way the Lowe's cashier had once insinuated. VCS has made us who we are. We have a bit of one another in each of us, and I swear it's not just because of incessantly sharing water bottles. Special is a descriptor of the unique programs VCS offers, the dedicated staff, and the students who push one another day in and day out. In other words, VCS is special for putting kids and faculty alike in yurts on sub-zero nights, for making service integral to the curriculum, and valuing the students' input no matter the weight of a decision. It would be daft to say that today is not symbolic of a transformation, or perhaps the end of an era. That event is undoubtedly sad, but I'm brought back to my class's character. We all are eclectic, engaged, positive, and happy people, making it only inevitable for our paths to cross routinely throughout our academic, personal, and career-oriented lives that lie ahead. I was recently in Liberia, West Africa. I was asked countless questions about life in the States, with one of the most common questions from the school-aged boys being, "So, you have a girlfriend in your class?" This was usually followed by them giving me a sly wink. When I told them no, as my class is akin to my family, the boys would usually look skeptical, only to realize that I was not the jock they had somehow perceived me to be. It's worth noting I was an utter letdown to the boy who asked me how to have 5 girlfriends at once. I could ramble on, elaborating on our family-like characteristics, our support of one another, and the unconditional love that truly does fill our class in a way not easily described. Really, though, this is a family with no major caveat. Just like a family might bicker, we did as well at one point. I don't tack on the reservation and attempt to save fate, but instead, because in 7th grade, we were fiends for drama. By 10th grade, though, we were in this together, playfully making fun of one another at any chance we got, helping each other through studying, and supporting the next classmate when times got rough. We also had our fair share of crazy experiences with one another. There was the time bread was thrown in Mitch's Parisian shower, the Acadia trip with most of our then sophomore class, the 9th grade bike trip, the time many of us went to Peru and couldn't breathe at 14,000 feet, when we built rockets in 7th grade, and countless others. If I could give context for each of these in a timely manner, I would, but I don't think it remotely possible. Each of these created their own microcosm of experiences that we shared as a collective, yet experienced firsthand as individuals. It's reminiscent of our growth in the Shire-like place that VCS is. We saw immense growth in ourselves while in the incubator of VCS, and now branch out into what one might call the real world. We all have had our own experiences, but there are certain ones which truly transcend our VCS careers as individuals. Central to my own was the 9th grade bike trip. For those of you who aren't aware, as part of the Encounter Week program, in which 3 weeks every year are dedicated to trips outside the classroom, be it knitting, backpacking, transcontinental travel, or general yurting, the 9th grade bikes 215 miles around Lake Champlain in 1 week, all together in the fall. I've never quite figured out my logic, but for this trip, I brought along a tiny 2.5-man tent to accommodate my peers and myself. To paint this picture, the small blue dome tent was from the early 1980s, made of the finest lightweight water repellent nylon available at the time. I've been told the high-end piece of gear was acquired at the reputable sporting goods store, Kmart. Unfortunately for us, it was necessary that 3 of us sleep in the tiny shelter. It became so tight that we affectionately named it the intimate tent. With Mitch on my right and Aiden on my left, the 3 of us commiserated, laughed, and ended up with jokes that would last until now. While I see the intimate tent as a representation of VCS, small, cozy, contrarian, and oftentimes misunderstood, this means little to some as the class makeup changed so. In an odd way, leaving VCS feels like crawling out of the intimate tent into the bright, crisp air of the morning. We must now crawl out of our home onto the path that holds a future of unknowns. Now, as we are here celebrating the successful completion of another year at VCS, and for some of us the last, I want to recognize each and every student who has at one point been a part of this class. Every person who has been in class with us truly has shaped our collective experience. Without Neil, Arjun, Willa, Jenny, Baxter, Oben, Ryan, Jackson, or Grace, I'm sure class would have been different for the worse. And with that, I'm filled with a sense of fear, knowing the next big step is just around the corner for all of us, yet consoled with the knowledge that I have a supportive group of family-like friends to ride into the future with. Thank you, and montemos.
Thank you so much, Miles. Before I get started on my remarks, I would like to take a brief moment to thank a few folks. I know that I cannot thank everyone for all the work they did to make this year and my years here such a resounding success. It took a lot of dedication and effort by everyone here and many people who are not present, but who care deeply about this school. Special thanks goes out to the Parents Association volunteers, including Steph Mussey and Latricia Gibbs, for a year of organizing parent events, especially the grade dinners, and making so many good things happen for us. Steph and Latricia, can you please come forward to receive a small token of our appreciation? To the committee volunteers who served often in the background, like Deirdre and Derek Sr. for the annual fund leadership, and thank God they signed up to do it next year too. To Joe Carrara for his hard work on buildings and grounds, leading that committee. Ron Seeley for his support of our wellness program, which next year will be phenomenal. The anonymous donors who have made scholarships and merit aid available to the students so they can attend the school and get tutoring. The myriad parents who helped out with each of our sports seasons. Tony Bader for all of the lights during all the events. Mark Kalbflish for the sound. And RETN in ambient photography for filming us today. Pardon me if I did not get all the names, but thanks to everyone who helped out in so many other ways. Thanks to the class parents for their help throughout the year. I would also like to thank Gardenside Nursery for the donation of the lovely plants today. Special thanks to our amazing Board of Trustees for all their work and incredible leadership throughout the year. Thank you very much for volunteering. And a special and hearty thanks to our faculty. Faculty, you are the essence of our school and all that makes it great. We appreciate everything you do. I would like to thank the junior parents for their help with the luncheon and the members of the graduation committee, specifically Jill Strawbridge, Kara Simone, Mary Hamilton, Lisa Lillibridge, and Steve Lazia for their incredible efforts in making this entire day possible. Thank you. As a special note, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the parents of the class of 2014. Can you please stand for a moment? Parents of seniors. Wow. For the extra job you took to make the tuition, the seemingly millions of miles you have driven to get here and back, the cars you provided so that you wouldn't have to drive here and back, the rainstorms you endured on the sidelines, the cookies you baked for all of us, the trust in us you exhibited in the toughest of times, and of course the undying support you have given all of us and all of your children. We thank you very much. This time, I would also like to formally announce the senior class gift. The class has raised enough money, over $8,000, to afford the establishment of a special scholarship fund to help deserving students attend the school. This is the first time this has been done in our history. It was a fantastic gift from the senior class. It will be an enduring scholarship where alumni will be allowed to give to this scholarship in perpetuity. So thank you, class of 2014. The gong? I don't know anything about a gong. Our deepest gratitude goes out to the faculty who will be leaving us. Could Jeru Wang please come to the stage to receive a small token of our appreciation?
Thank you so much.
My speech today is entitled Rainbows. And I did not write it with any knowledge that there's probably a really good chance we may see a rainbow on the way home. One of nature's most enduring wonders are rainbows. They are nothing short of fantastic. You can talk about your purple mountains' majesties, your fruited plains, your seas to shining seas. You can wonder at wildlife and flora and tiny little critters who do the coolest little things. You can even marvel at skyscrapers and great walls and even human nature itself. And don't get me wrong, these things are amazing in their own right, but rainbows are in a league of their own. Rainbows have lots of really cool things about them. First, you never know when they're coming. It rains, some sun comes out, and sometimes, only if you're in exactly the right place, they just appear. They just show up without warning. Oh, look, a rainbow. Everybody gets all excited, starts pointing and staring out their windows while they're driving or rushing to the back porch just to see something many people have seen dozens of times in their lives. By the way, I'm one of those Celtic mystics who believes that rainbows don't actually dissolve or go away. They just go appear someplace else and amaze some other group of people. Rainbows are proud, majestic, and usually happy. When they happen and you stare and you marvel a bit, you also might realize that rainbows don't say anything. They are massive, distant, beautiful, and silent. Something that big and grand should have a voice or make a big crashing sound or endure trumpets from the heavens or something like that. But nope, rainbows are silent. They do move, however. I once chased a rainbow on my bike about 20 miles per hour for about 5 miles, and damned if that thing wasn't going exactly 20 miles an hour along, moving away from me. Well, we all remember classic rainbows in our lives, too, sort of benchmark rainbows, as it were. When I was 17, I was riding my bike to work at 6 a.m. to pump gas at Slim Sunoco station, and as I turned up Main Street, I witnessed a full double rainbow across the avenue in front of me. It was simply amazing. Both semicircles were complete, and I literally passed beneath them, or so it seemed. There's moon bows at night and fog bows in the clouds, and then there's the reading rainbow, which LeVar Burton is single-handedly returning to prowess as we speak. Then there was the one I saw at Niagara Falls, the permanent rainbow. It would show up every day, and nobody knew where it went at night. Based on that one, I'm surprised that somehow someone hasn't figured out how to make your own mini rainbow in your living room. I'm sure it's coming. Adrian, you think you can invent that for us? Rainbows cover every discipline, too. Of course, in science, there's the actual physics of a rainbow, some explanation that the sun is hitting water droplets at just the right angle. But nobody specializes in rainbow studies, do they? Maybe somebody ought to offer a master's in that. Which brings us to math, and who would deny the beauty of a perfect multicolored arc? And in history, one has to wonder exactly what did ancient cultures make of these things? They had to be utterly startled at this astronomical wonder to the point that they all just had to create a god around it. In literature, Maya Angelou said softly, quote, "Try to be a rainbow in someone's cloud." Now that was poetic. And certainly every world language names them without fail. In Spanish, el arco iris. In Chinese, tahong. And it's satin kari in Finland. That brings us to art. And frankly, without the colors of the rainbow, all art would be black and white. Just think about that. So what does all this pondering about rainbows have to do with the class of 2014? What, dare I say, is the connection? As Kermit the Frog once mused, someday we'll find it, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. The class, like a rainbow, came to VCS unannounced. They just showed up. On the heels of a long ago storm. The class proved to be made up of many different colors and characteristics, as Miles just showed you. The class moved along with us and got clearer and more distinct as they formed, just as rainbows do. They turned out to be proud in stature, majestic in intellect, and happy. Most of the time, actually happy. My advice to you all is simple. Believe in yourselves, have the confidence you need to go far, and never forget where you came from. These are the things which I have seen in all of you from the time we first met. Studying the Mystery Cemetery in 8th grade, right up to the amazing projects you shared with us last week. You have made my time at this school memorable and magic, and I thank you for that. You have been the shining light in our classrooms and the nourishing water that has fed our school in your time. And really, that's all you need to make a rainbow happen. Beyond all these connections is the reality that rainbows are ephemeral, just like the classes. They eventually disappear. And like rainbows, this class of wonderful people, sadly, will leave us. And they will go on to good colleges, to new friends, to new places, to new adventures. And then some of them will find a pot of gold, and some will be lucky, and most of them will live lives of color. But most importantly, just like rainbows, they won't really disappear. They will leave us to go somewhere else and make someone else smile. They will brighten someone else's day, just as they have done so often to us. Best of luck, class of 2014. We will miss you all indeed. Get back on track here. Okay, next will be the conferring of the diplomas, and Kara, can you come forward for that?
Next will be the conferring of the diplomas to the graduates. I would like to ask each graduate to come forward as I call his or her name, and I read the testimonials written by their advisor. Will Brian Leffler, Chair of the Board of Trustees, and Peter Gilmore, Head of School, please take center stage here. And Chance is getting those diplomas ready. Okay. Let's start with Isabella Carrara from Mark Klein Lucy. Isabella. Isabella rode into town 3 years ago on her trusty steed and brought with her a great work ethic and a friend to all spirit. Unflappable by nature, Isabella took on the unenviable role of being one of only 3 girls in a class full of boys. While maintaining her extraordinary effort in all of her classes, she also spent a great deal of time over the past 3 years pursuing her dream of competing in the Junior Olympics for equestrian events. Bella completed her coursework while training for 3 months each winter in South Carolina. For her senior project, Bella delved deeper into the world of horses by learning to train off-track thoroughbreds, rehabilitating an injured horse, and learning to teach riding lessons. Isabella, you will be missed next year, but Boston University will be incredibly fortunate to have you. Congratulations, Bella. Seth Evans Diffenderfer. Seth began at Vermont Commons School 6 years ago as a writer, musician, and poet. He has participated in many of our dramatic plays, musical events, and writing conferences. His poetic and creative mind has always lent an inspiring tone to everything he has pursued at our school. The residual effects of these tones have made our school a better place as it shines brightly on the humanistic pillars of our institution. Every acted line from Shakespeare, warm morning meeting reminder about United Nations, and punk rock performance has been a constant reminder of Seth's brilliant and kind nature as a student and friend. Seth's athleticism, courage, and leadership is demonstrated by his involvement as a wide receiver on the Winooski football team and a captain of Vermont Commons School's volleyball team. This combination of courage, intellect, and poetry will serve him well as he pursues his dreams at Brandeis University this fall. Congratulations, Seth. Ella Scavone. Ella Scavone's creativity comes to him by nurture and nature. Naturally talented in many areas of visual and musical expression, he has also grown up in a household filled with the arts. Ellis lives each day looking at the world differently than others in a very good way. His mind just naturally sees perspectives that others do not, and we all appreciate this. As a young man dedicating to helping others, he is openly caring and understanding. As a person who can see beyond political bounds and appreciate various angles of issues, he is easy to converse with. Ellis was a stalwart on the basketball team, a leader in Model UN, played the viola at VYO, and offered himself as a friend to all. During summers, one could usually find him on the beach in Sandwich, Mass., promoting his Town Neck T-shirt company. Ellis will grace the hallways of the Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design in the fall, and we wish him well wherever his creativity takes him. Congratulations, Ellis. Corbin Hill. Corbin came to VCS as a junior and quickly found a home in our small classes and tight-knit community. His friendly manner helped him get along with kids of all ages, and he was always comfortable sharing his thoughts with adults as well. A quick thinker, Corbin shared his ideas openly and added to the class of 2014's already legendary reputation for class discussions. A lover of all things fast, Corbin can't get enough of planes, trains, and automobiles. Well, maybe not trains, but if BMW made a train, then he would know all about it. Corbin played basketball and proved himself in Model UN and had a great senior project working with, of course, a high-performance auto shop. On his own, he pursued his private pilot's license to fly airplanes, and I'm sure there are a lot more adventures in this area in his future. Also in his future is studying business at Champlain College in the fall. Corbin, we thank you for coming to join us at VCS, and we wish you well on all the best on the road ahead. Congratulations, Corbin. Maggie Homer. Maggie Homer's artistic acting and creative abilities are evident in every arena that she has influenced during her 4 years at Vermont Commons School. She has been a leading voice in advocating for others and supporting charitable and altruistic institutions during morning meetings, after-school events, and senior projects. Her direction as captain of the volleyball team built trust and confidence in all of the younger athletes on the team. And in the classroom, Maggie's voice has inspired conversations that have made our learning environment a better place. Maggie's dynamic personality and confident nature have influenced every facet of VCS life, from civic duty to social advocacy and political awareness. We know that she will continue to advocate and support others with her social charm and intellectual propensity as she attends Eckerd College next fall. Congratulations, Maggie. Emil Koenig. In a class filled with extroverts, Emil Koenig is a quiet leader who always knows exactly what's going on. But don't let his sharp eyes confuse you. Behind that gentle and broad smile is a warm and genuinely nice person. His easy and open manners come from his international background, quality upbringing, and his respect for all around him. This respect is returned in kind as he is seen by all as a good friend, talented thinker, and a fierce defender of the truth as he sees it. In classes, he is an ardent student who strives to do his best at all times. In collaborative projects, he is a reliable coworker, and when on the floor during debate team or Model UN, Emil is a deadly adversary. Let's face it, it's always best to be on his side in an argument. Emil excels in languages, especially Chinese and his native Russian, and this led to his junior year abroad in Beijing. After intensive studies and an exciting year, he returned to easily pick up right where he left off at VCS. He rejoined Model UN, was a leader in the now famous NAMUN 2014 at VCS, and can usually be found plotting something new with the likes of Miles and Aiden. Emil, we wish you all the best as you attend Brandeis in the fall and major in East Asian Studies. Congratulations, Emil. Miles Lamberson. It's difficult to talk about Miles without gushing. He's not just the student that you envision saving the world, but also the student you want in all of your classes, on every camping trip and at every Model UN conference. Miles is humble, kind, courageous, and intellectual. It was not surprising when the student body voted him to be president, or when Miles performed all presidential duties with flying colors. Miles is a friend and confidant to teachers, administrators, and younger students. His VCS career is peppered with awards and honors, and all for good reason. Whether as a tiny 7th grader biking around Lake Champlain, or as a 12th grader meeting with NGOs in Africa, Miles always goes above and beyond. We were proud to have him as part of our VCS student body, and we are sure that he will continue to make us proud at Bates College as he ventures to make many more marks on the world. Congratulations, Miles. You, Peter Larson. Peter is everyone's favorite proverbial rhino in a china cabinet. Easily lovable and fiercely interested in most everything intellectual, you will not be want for conversation if you start a discourse with Peter. He quickly proved to be an impressive history student with a mind for fact and detail, and later an eye for pulling together larger patterns and into thoughtful papers. In recent ventures, Peter's learned how to program and create a standalone website on fast food tweeting, a wonder that would be more apt to appear on a graduate student's resume than an 18-year-old's first attempt. Peter has proven time and time again that he is a community-minded player, always willing to help the underdog, always willing to take one for the team, both literally and figuratively. A curious, cunning, friendly, affable rhino ready to break away from our china cabinet and into Worcester Polytechnic Institute. Congratulations, Peter. That was a tough one. Mitchell Leffler. When we all found out that Mitchell Leffler was going to produce a safe driving video as his senior project, nobody batted an eye. A self-proclaimed gearhead, Mitch is always ready to converse about quality cars, gears, shifters, tires, tracks, and of course, the importance of staying within the speed limit. But seriously, his project was aimed at teens and expressed his true desire to help his peers see the value of safe driving skills. He doesn't limit his driving to land either, as Mitch recently earned certification from the U.S. Coast Guard for a preliminary pilot's license. When not cruising the wide avenues of Williston or plowing the waters of Lake Champlain, Mitchell has spent the last 6 years at VCS gracing our classrooms. Spanish was his area of expertise and one that will serve him well in the future. A self-avowed contrarian, Mitch often helped all of us see the logic and common sense of a different view. He parlayed this skill into success at Model UN, where he had a reputation for his clear and concise argumentation. As a person, Mitch is known for his sincerity and kind, easygoing manner. A friend to all, he has been a nice mentor to younger students at VCS as well. Mitch will be heading to California, Sunshine, and Pepperdine University in the fall. Congratulations, Mitchell. Amber Quinlan. Our community will miss the presence of Amber Quinlan. While enrolled at VCS, Amber has emerged as a quiet, steady force in our school and is a valued friend to all. She is known for her warm smile and her sense of adventure. She has traveled extensively and has taken full advantage of our Encounter Week program and, on her own, journeyed to Australia and Europe, and on a whim, jumped out of an airplane as she wanted to experience the thrill of skydiving. I think more than once. Amber has graced our stage in several theatrical productions and has been an active member of our school's volleyball team. We will all miss Amber, but know that based on the success of her senior project working with small children, that she is on the right path as she heads to Lesley University in the fall to pursue studies in elementary education and social work. Congratulations, Amber. Spencer Reed. Vermont Commons School experienced a seismic shift in January 2012 when Spencer Reed arrived. Proudly independent and full of paradoxes, Spencer presents himself as a laid-back and reserved, yet disarms and surprises, in a respectful way, of course, when he puts pen to paper. The winner of the Social Studies and Language Arts Department Awards last year, Spencer's creative and rhetorical gifts culminated this year when he assumed a prominent role for the VCS Model UN, wrote a college-level single-author study paper about the works of the anarchist naturalist Edward Abbey, and read his hilariously distinguished personal memoir at his last evening of readings. As this year's winner of the Math Department Award, Spencer continues to show us that it is possible to be good at everything. We look forward to hear... Your advisor wrote this. We look forward to hearing about his continued intellectual adventures at Washington University in St. Louis. Congratulations, Spencer. Aiden Villani Holland. Aiden's quiet persona hides a ferocious mind and an insatiable appetite for learning. His rapier-sharp wit and desert-dry delivery are a constant wellspring of fun for any group lucky enough to include him. Aiden's well-documented passion for the sciences has probably masked some of his remarkable successes in the humanities, graphic and performing arts, and music. His all-around academic and community strengths made him an obvious member of our chapter of the National Honor Society and a central figure in our Model UN crew. 2 summers ago, Aiden and his VCS partner were part of a research team working on solutions to climate change. Their systems dynamics model of hydrology earned them the Best Student Poster Award at UVM's Undergraduate Research Symposium last spring. It seems like every time you have Aiden pegged, he surprises you with more depth. Congratulations, Aiden, and good luck at Clark University.
I will. I'll tell you when to move your tassel. It's a time-honored tradition to confer upon each graduate a walking stick, symbolic of the journey each member of the class has taken through their time at VCS and on the trail before them. We wish to all our graduates a safe, interesting, healthy, and joyous road ahead. Graduates, please stand while your advisors present you with your walking sticks. Yep, I'm feeling like I'm walking with you, which is nice. Seniors, thank you for all you have brought us. We say goodbye knowing that you take with you the very essence of our school, our values, our spirit, and everything we stand for. Acting on the recommendation of the faculty and with the consent of the Board of Trustees, and each of you having satisfied the graduation requirements for the state of Vermont, I now declare you graduates of Vermont Commons School. Please move your tassels. After the benediction and recessional, please join us for the traditional picnic and socializing, which will be right downstairs in the cafeteria. Graduates, please place your diplomas aside for a moment and recess only with your walking sticks. After, gather your parents and diplomas for a picture before joining the luncheon. The restrooms are not only up on this floor, but also downstairs in the same place off the cafeteria. And we welcome everyone to join us downstairs. Shh. May you always have enough sweetness to keep you happy, enough trials to keep you strong, enough success to keep you eager, and enough faith to give you peace, and enough courage to make it through each and every day. Thank you and congratulations. Yeah.